Have you ever imagined loving someone so much that you would challenge the gods themselves? Orpheus, one of the greatest musicians in Greek mythology, lived a love story so intense and tragic that it resonates through the ages. His love for Eurydice was so profound that he faced Hades himself to bring her back to life. However, in a moment of weakness, he broke a crucial promise and lost his beloved forever. This story is not just a tale of love and loss, but a lesson about trust, patience, and the consequences of our actions. Get ready to dive into a narrative that challenges the limits of love and devotion and makes us question how far we would go for those we love. Orpheus, a captivating figure from Greek mythology, was none other than the son of Apollo, the god of the sun and music, and Calliope, the muse of epic poetry. From an early age, his divine heritage was evident as he mastered the lyre like no other. His music was so enchanting that even animals and plants would stop to listen to his melodies. Imagine that, even trees would bend in reverence to the sound of his lyre. This musical talent wasn't just a gift, but an extension of his soul, capable of touching even the hardest hearts. But Orpheus wasn't just an exceptional musician. He was also a fearless adventurer. Among his many feats, his participation in the expedition of the Argonauts, led by Jason in search of the Golden Fleece, stands out. During this journey, Orpheus saved his companions from the deadly charms of the sirens, drowning out their treacherous songs with his own melodies. His skill not only demonstrated his musical prowess, but also his heroic and protective spirit. Orpheus's music had an almost supernatural power. It is said that his lyre could calm the fiercest beasts and even make stones weep. This gift was not merely an art, but a true tool of magic and transformation. Orpheus's ability to influence the world around him with his music is a valuable lesson about the power of art and expression. It's as if he was born to remind us of the beauty and strength that music can bring to our lives. Orpheus's bond with his lyre was so profound that many believed his music was a direct gift from the gods. This divine gift was something he treated with great respect and humility. In an era where gods interacted directly with mortals, Orpheus was seen as an intermediary, a bridge between the human and the divine world, using his lyre as a means of communication. And so, we delve into the story of Orpheus, a hero whose adventures and musical talents are just the beginning of a saga filled with love, tragedy, and resilience. Let's follow his journey and discover what fate had in store for him and those he loved. During one of his performances, Orpheus met Eurydice, a beautiful woodland nymph. Her presence was as enchanting as Orpheus's music, and he fell madly in love with her. This encounter was not merely casual, but seemed orchestrated by fate. The passion that blossomed between them was immediate and overwhelming, as if their souls were destined to meet. Imagine being at a concert and suddenly being captivated by the beauty and essence of someone in the audience. That's exactly what happened to Orpheus. The love between Orpheus and Eurydice quickly flourished, and they soon decided to marry. Their wedding was an event filled with joy and celebration, marked by Orpheus's sublime music and Eurydice's gracefulness. Their union seemed perfect, a harmony between two beings who complemented each other in every aspect. For those who have experienced the euphoria of new love, the story of Orpheus and Eurydice resonates deeply, reminding us of the beauty of instant and profound connections. However, their happiness was short-lived. Even at the height of their joy, a dark premonition loomed over their love. It was as if the gods were preparing a test to prove the depth and resilience of their bond. True love often faces unexpected challenges, and the story of Orpheus and Eurydice reminds us that happiness can be as fleeting as it is beautiful. For those who live in intense love, it is important to cherish every moment, knowing that life is full of twists and turns. The intensity of Orpheus's love for Eurydice was such that he dedicated his music to her, making each melody a declaration of his affection. His songs were sweeter and deeper, reflecting the happiness he found in their marriage. Eurydice became his muse, the inspiration behind his art. And so, Orpheus and Eurydice enjoyed a short but intense period of marital bliss, which would soon be tested by forces beyond their control. Their love story leads us to the next chapter of their journey, where they face a cruel and unexpected fate. The happiness of Orpheus and Eurydice was cruelly interrupted by a tragic event. During a walk through the fields, Eurydice was pursued by Aristeus, a young beekeeper who was irresistibly drawn to her beauty. In her desperate attempt to escape Aristeus's advances, Eurydice stepped on a hidden viper in the tall grass. The serpent's venom was relentless, leading to her almost instant death. When Orpheus heard of the tragedy, he rushed to find his beloved, but it was too late. The sight of Eurydice lying lifeless on the ground was a devastating blow for him. His grief was so profound that it seemed to resonate throughout the world, transforming his joyful melodies into laments of pure sorrow. It was as if the universe had lost its brilliance in that moment. Eurydice's death forever changed the course of Orpheus's life. He became a man consumed by pain and longing, wandering aimlessly and playing music that expressed his despair. His lyre, which once brought joy and peace, now emitted sounds of mourning and sadness. This is a reminder of how art can be a powerful way to express and process grief. Despite his overwhelming sorrow, Orpheus decided he could not simply accept Eurydice's loss. Determined to bring her back, he made a bold decision: to descend into the underworld and plead with the gods for her return. This act of courage and desperation is a testament to the power of love and determination. With his heart full of pain, but also of resolve, Orpheus prepared for the perilous journey to the underworld. His love for Eurydice and the hope of bringing her back to life were the driving forces that propelled him to face the unknown. His journey to the underworld would be the ultimate test of his courage and unwavering love. Determined to reclaim his beloved, Orpheus embarked on a daring journey to the underworld, a place feared by all mortals. Armed only with his lyre and his courage, he descended into the realm of Hades, the god of the dead. The journey began at the river Styx, where the ferryman Charon, initially reluctant, was swayed by the enchantment of Orpheus's music and transported him to the other shore. Upon reaching the gates of the underworld, Orpheus encountered Cerberus, the fearsome three-headed dog that guarded the entrance to the realm of the dead. With his gentle melodies, Orpheus managed to soothe the beast, which, hypnotized by the music, allowed him to pass. This scene demonstrates the transformative power of art and music, capable of taming even the fiercest creatures. It reminds us that in our lives, kindness and creativity can be powerful weapons against the challenges we face. Before the thrones of Hades and Persephone, Orpheus made his plea. With his lyre in hand, he sang a song of love and loss so moving that even the stone hearts of the gods of the underworld were touched. Hades, usually unyielding, and Persephone, moved by Orpheus's pain, decided to grant him a unique chance. Eurydice could return to the world of the living, but with a strict condition. The condition imposed by Hades was simple yet cruel. As they ascended back to the world of the living, Orpheus could not look back at Eurydice until both were completely out of the underworld. If he failed, she would be lost forever. This test of trust and patience was the greatest challenge Orpheus had ever faced. With a heart full of hope and fear, Orpheus began the ascent, guided by the soft sound of Eurydice's footsteps behind him. Each step was a battle against the temptation to look back and ensure she was there. The tension grew with every moment, culminating in a climax that would define their fates. And so, Orpheus moved forward, with the destiny of his love hanging by a thread, ready to be tested in the ultimate trial of his faith and determination. The tension was palpable as Orpheus and Eurydice made their way back to the world of the living. Each step they took seemed to last an eternity, with Orpheus battling the urge to look back. He could feel Eurydice's presence just behind him, but doubt gnawed at him. After all, how could he be sure she was truly there, following him back to life? Almost at the end of the journey, with the light of the sun beginning to illuminate the tunnel ahead, the doubt became unbearable. Orpheus could not resist the temptation, and in a moment of weakness, he looked back to see Eurydice. The instant their eyes met, Eurydice was pulled back into the underworld, disappearing from his sight forever. This tragic moment reminds us how impulsive decisions can have devastating consequences. Despair overwhelmed Orpheus as he watched his beloved vanish before his eyes. He tried to follow her back into the underworld, but this time, the doors were closed to him. With no other option, Orpheus returned to the world of the living, now without his beloved and without the hope that had sustained him. This devastating experience changed Orpheus forever, transforming him into a symbol of loss and sorrow. Back on the surface, Orpheus wandered the world, unable to find comfort or joy. His songs, once full of life and love, were now dark and melancholic. He isolated himself, withdrawing from the people and the celebrations he once loved. Orpheus's story at this point shows us how pain can completely alter the way we live our lives. Despite the tragedy, Orpheus continued to play his lyre, and his music, filled with sadness, attracted all who heard it. Even the forces of nature seemed to be touched by his pain. He became a legendary figure, his story told and retold as a cautionary tale and a testament to eternal love. And so, Orpheus continued, his life now a series of days filled with lamentation, but also a sad beauty that only those who know true loss can understand. The end of Orpheus was as tragic as his journey. After losing Eurydice to the underworld for the second time, he withdrew from social life and took refuge in his melancholic music. He spent his days wandering through the forests, playing his lyre and singing songs of sorrow and longing. His pain was so profound that even wild animals would approach, hypnotized by the sadness of his melodies. This voluntary isolation shows how pain can distance us from the world, making solitude our only companion. Orpheus's final fate came at the hands of the Maenads, the frenzied followers of Dionysus. They could not understand his constant sadness and his refusal to celebrate life as they did. In a fit of rage and incomprehension, they attacked Orpheus, tearing him apart in a brutal act of violence. This brutal scene is a reminder of how misunderstanding and intolerance can lead to acts of extreme cruelty. Even after his death, Orpheus's lyre continued to play, floating down the river until it reached the sea, where it was finally placed among the stars by the gods as a constellation. His music, even in death, continued to enchant the world. This symbolizes the idea that true art transcends life, leaving an eternal legacy. In the underworld, Orpheus finally reunited with Eurydice. After so much suffering, the lovers were finally brought together, free from the pains and limitations of the living world. In Hades, they could spend eternity together, their souls entwined in an eternal embrace. This final reunion offers a glimpse of hope and solace, showing that true love can transcend even death. And so, the story of Orpheus ends with a touch of redemption. His life was marked by love, loss, and an unending quest for his beloved Eurydice. His journey teaches us about the beauty and pain of love, the importance of patience and trust, and the transformative power of music and art. And so, we leave Orpheus and Eurydice together forever as an eternal reminder of the power of true love. The story of Orpheus and Eurydice teaches us that true love can move mountains and even challenge the gods. But it also reminds us that trust and patience are essential to achieving our deepest goals. Now, I ask you, would you be willing to face the darkest challenges for the love of your life? What would you do if you had a second chance to correct a mistake? Leave your answers in the comments and share your own stories of love and overcoming obstacles. If you enjoyed this video and want to continue learning about mythology and fascinating stories like that of Orpheus, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and activate notifications. This way, you won't miss any of our upcoming content. Until next time, and remember, love, despite its pains, is always worth it.